A few years after defeating Mechagodzilla, Kong proves to the other Titans his right to leadership on the newly discovered Hollow Earth. There, Kong clashes with Titans that look like giant hounds. Kong grabs the leader of the hounds and tears him into pieces, while the rest of the opponents are horrified and shamefully run away from the battlefield. Sitting on the edge of a cliff, Kong prepares to eat the carcass of his defeated enemy, but he is hindered by a severe toothache. A Titan crocodile suddenly appears and steals the prey, but Kong doesn't even try to stop him because of his toothache. At this time, Dr. Eileen Andrews talks about how Godzilla and Kong divided their territories of influence among themselves. Kong remains in the Hollow Earth, where he unsuccessfully tries to find his kin. At the same time, Godzilla on the surface of the Earth monitors the activity of other Titans, and, if necessary, restrains them. Soon, a huge spider-like Scylla appears in Italy, destroying buildings and killing people for no apparent reason. Feeling this, Godzilla hurries to Rome, where he immediately engages in battle with a huge monster. Scylla tries to attack the enemy with his sharp claws, but Godzilla uses his atomic breath to tear Scylla's body into pieces, after which the citizens finally breathe a sigh of relief. Dr. Eileen Andrews and the Monarch's observation post located in the Hollow Earth are receiving an unidentified signal, but cannot yet explain it. At the same time, this signal causes Jia, Dr. Andrews' adopted daughter, to experience hallucinations and flashbacks. Jia draws strange pictures, and Dr. Andrews is surprised to realize that they match the strange signal received from Hollow Earth. It turns out that Jia is the last survivor of the Iwi tribe, since all the rest of her fellow tribesmen on Skull Island died from a terrible storm. Jia talks about the Hollow Earth and Kong several times, and Dr. Andrews realizes that something very important is happening there now. Dr. Andrews shows the signals from Hollow Earth and Jia's drawings to his former colleague Bernie, who believes they are coming from humans. Their conversation is interrupted by a sudden signal of new activity from Godzilla, who has just awakened from a long sleep. At this time, Kong appears at the Monarch's outpost, suffering from a toothache. Jia notices the Titan's pain, and Titan veterinarian Trapper replaces Kong's bad tooth with an artificial tooth. Bernie informs Dr. Andrews of new signals from the Hollow Earth, and assumes that this is a request for help. After that, a team of 5 people sets off for the Hollow Earth. Here the group is met by a whole flock of flying Titans with shiny bodies, which at first glance seem completely harmless. Godzilla is awakened, as he also sensed a signal from Hollow Earth. Godzilla makes it to France, where he attacks a nuclear power plant to recharge himself, and Monarch soldiers attack him with nuclear charges to speed up the process. After this, Godzilla leaves, but his motives remain unknown. Meanwhile, the group reaches the Monarch's outpost in Hollow Earth, which is destroyed. They notice the imprint of a huge paw on the rock, but it is not Kong's paw, which means they need to be very careful further. Kong goes into his cave to get his axe, and on the way out he notices a huge hole in the ground, into which the Titan immediately jumps. Having reached the bottom, Kong notices a young ape Titan named Suko, and tries to befriend him, but Suko unexpectedly bites his finger. Several adult ape Titans attack Kong for no reason, so he has to fight them off. Kong doesn't want to harm his kin, but they act extremely aggressively, so he is forced to epically beat his opponents with Suko, and throw them off the cliff. Kong then threatens Suko to do the same to him if the young monkey doesn't finally calm down. At the same time, the group receives another signal and flies further into the Hollow Earth. When they land, a carnivorous plant unexpectedly devours the pilot of the aircraft, but despite this the others are determined to find the source of the signal. Soon the group finds the ruins of ancient buildings that clearly belong to some advanced civilization. Among the symbols on the wall, people notice a distinct drawing of Mothra, who is called the Mother of all Titans. Soon the explorers find a secret passage, and having overcome a shining barrier, they get into a mystical place, which looks very unusual. Suko tries to lure Kong into a trap, and leads him to a huge floating Titan. However, it is not difficult for the mighty Kong to deal with the enemy and cut his body into pieces. After this, Kong eats the flesh of the defeated Titan, and shares the spoils with Suko, who seems to finally begin to trust Kong. Meanwhile, Godzilla reaches the Arctic, where he is attacked by the very powerful Titan Tiamat. This is a huge flying dragon with luminous scales that few Titans can match in strength. Initially, the opponent's strengths appear to be equal. However, at a critical moment, Godzilla once again uses his signature move, Atomic Breath, and tears Tiamat's body to pieces. At this time, in the Hollow Earth, the Monarchs group is surrounded by some unknown tribe with shining weapons. The warriors bring the uninvited guests to their queen, who immediately establishes telepathic contact with Jia. It turns out that these are the surviving members of the Iwi tribe, who have been living in the Hollow Earth for thousands of years. They communicate with each other using telepathy, and recognize Jia as their fellow tribeswoman. Queen Ivy Iwi shows the guests ancient inscriptions stating that the surface world and the Hollow Earth once lived in harmony, and Kong's ancestors protected humans. But one day a huge ape titan named King Scar declared war on people. Godzilla managed to defeat him that time and locked him in the Hollow Earth, where he still rules over the surviving ape titans. Kong and Zuko get to the place where the ape titans live. It turns out they are all forced to obey the strict orders of the ruthless King Scar, who wears a necklace on his body made of the bones of his defeated enemies. King Scar kills Zuko's father because the teenager brought a stranger into their territory. Then, the leader mocks Kong's artificial tooth and challenges him to a duel. King Scar hopes to easily defeat Kong, but he turns out to be a worthy opponent, and despite all the dastardly tricks of the local leader, Kong gradually gains the advantage in the fight. Realizing that he may disgracefully lose the fight, King Scar summons the huge ice titan Shimo, whom he controls with a magic crystal. Kong bravely rushes into battle, but Shimo is too strong. Using his icy breath, Shimo severely injures Kong's paw, who realizes that he has no chance of winning this fight. Luckily, Zuko shows Kong a secret cave through which the two escape. King Scar rejoices as he forced the enemy to flee and captured Kong's mighty axe. King Scar's followers pursue Kong and Zuko, but they still manage to escape. Dr. Andrews, having learned from the Iwi tribe about King Scar and Shimo, suggests that Godzilla is going to fight King Scar, who seems to pose a threat to the entire world. The humans realize that to gain an advantage in the final battle, they need to awaken Mothra from sleep, and Queen Iwi explains that only Jia can do this using her abilities. Meanwhile, in the Arctic, after defeating Tiamat, Godzilla absorbs radiation from his lair, causing his spikes to turn a bright purple. The Iwi tribe opens the protective barrier, allowing the injured Kong and Zuko to pass through to them. The other ape titans see what is happening and tell King Scar about it. He mounts Shimo and goes in pursuit of the enemy. Monarch's team creates a powerful mechanical arm for Kong, which heals his injured paw and gives him incredible strength. At the same time, Kong realizes that he cannot cope with King Scar and Shimo alone, and thinks about how to lure Godzilla into the Hollow Earth and force him to help in the battle. Having reached Egypt, Kong calls out to Godzilla with a powerful roar. Godzilla immediately responds to the call and rushes towards Kong, crushing everything in his path. At this time, the Iwi tribe, together with Jia, gets to the place where Mothra is sleeping. The girl telepathically calls out to the mother of the Titans, and she finally awakens from her long sleep. The Iwi tribe opens a portal, helping Mothra and Jia get to Egypt, where Kong and Godzilla are now fighting. Godzilla furiously attacks Kong, who dared to enter his territory. At first, Kong confidently repels all enemy attacks, but when Godzilla uses his atomic breath, the big ape has no chance of salvation. Fortunately, Mothra and Jia, who appeared in time, inform Godzilla that King Scar and Shimo can destroy our entire world. The Iwi tribe tries to close the portal, but at this time King Scar and Shimo appear, who uses his powerful ice attacks to destroy the barrier and break through to the surface. Kong and Godzilla engage in an epic battle with their opponents. Filled with radiation, Godzilla furiously attacks Shimo, while Kong tries to cripple King Scar with his new mechanical arm. Kong finally takes his axe from his opponent, and little Zuko tries his best to help him in the fight. Godzilla tries to find Shimo's weak point, while Mothra helps the Titan fend off powerful ice attacks. As a result of this epic battle, the Titans are transported to Rio de Janeiro, where King Scar orders Shimo to start a new ice age and destroy all of humanity. Godzilla struggles to stop Shimo, and Kong manages to knock out King Scar's tooth, causing the Titan to smile widely. Four powerful Titans destroy half the city in a fierce battle. Shimo tries to freeze Kong again, but Godzilla deflects his attack with his atomic breath. At this moment, Zuko appears from the Hollow Earth, grabs Kong's axe and destroys King Scar's magic crystal. Kong beats up his opponent, and Shimo, finally freed from mental control, attacks his former master with an ice attack that tears King Scar into pieces. Now the Earth is finally not in danger. Chia is offered to stay with her tribe, but the girl replies that she loves her adoptive mother very much. Kong becomes the new ruler of the Hollow Earth. He frees the ape titans from the centuries-old slavery of King Scar, and Zuko and Shimo become his loyal allies. Godzilla returns to the Colosseum, where he hibernates until our planet needs his help again.